Hello there, everyone. Patricia Hayes here with today's Coffee Time Career Chat. Super excited to be here and be back for the fall. So excited about it. I do. I just have like all this energy, you guys, because it's like been pent up. So you're going to get like me on 100 times speed for the first few weeks till I can slow myself down. Anyway, if you're joining for the first time, my name is Patricia Hayes. I am an executive advisor. I'm an empowerment coach, and I'm an authentic networking strategist who loves working with people to get them set for their next level opportunity. And not just, about what the next job is, but like literally what is it you want to accomplish for yourself at the next level? That's what I'm here to help you get to, and to do it fully, authentically, and leverage all of your resources and your relationships so that you can be successful in doing what it is that you are seeking to do. And so today we are continuing along this conversation about developing a more empowered you. That has been our theme. That is our theme for September, as we are moving along towards some new projects, some new outlooks. And as I stated before, I'm really wanting to reintegrate the whole empowerment nature of what it is that I do with your relationship building, with your career development. Because really and truly, that's why people first came to me years ago. And that is the transformation that continues to be delivered. It's not just about getting the next job. It's not just getting the next great business deal or strategy or plan together. It is about being more empowered in yourself professionally and personally so that all the rest of that flows from you. So we are doing the whole reintegration, and I'm so excited to be continuing that conversation and to be doing it. So let me know if you have any questions and how this could, help you to get to the next level of you as well. Today, we are specifically talking about, we are talking about relationship building because it's Networking Wednesday, right? And for those of you who don't know, check the feed. But Wednesdays are all about networking for me. It's where I dive deep in and reconnecting with my professional relationships. It doesn't have to be Wednesday for you. It could be another day. But the point is to build your consistency and to designate time to do the work. That's really what it's all about. Speaking of which, that's what we're going to be talking about today, because there are some things that can absolutely damage your relationship building, and inconsistency is the key thing. So we're talking about today the dangers of inconsistency, of inconsistently building your relationships, because it's really about quality over quantity. So many times people get caught up in saying, oh, I met, 50 people at this thing and I met another 10 at this thing or whatever. But if you're not doing anything to flesh out those relationships and you're just showing up here, hither, thither, and all around, guess what? That's not really getting you where you want to be. And it's possibly doing greater damage to your networking efforts and your relationship building efforts, and thereby your long-term goal. So what are some of the key dangers that create some damaging situations for you? The first one is the danger of engaging in relationship building inconsistently is you then start to feel like you're always starting from scratch. This is the thing that is the most common. It's one of the reasons why people say they hate networking. They always feel like it's so, and they're just coming into it and there's nothing really there to it. But when you are hitting and missing because of all that, stinking thinking, we talked about that the other day. But when you're hitting and missing and engaging inconsistently, guess what? You are going to feel like you're starting from scratch every time because you're not getting any traction. There's no momentum being gained. And when there's no momentum, you slow down, you get discouraged, you get upset, and then you stop. And what happens? You go to an event, someone says, oh, you should go to this, or let me introduce you to this person, and you feel like you're starting up all over again. Guess what? I'm not talking about what I hear. I'm talking about what I know. Building relationships and networking has literally been my job for 30 years. For those of you who don't know, I was a registered lobbyist for almost 30 years. It is the name of the game. Like, go out, meet people, share your ideas, share your resources, engage, connect people. When you fall off on that, it shows up in your work. It shows up in your goals. Okay. It shows up in your career and your projects. So when you can get back to being more consistent and building that in, that will help save your energy, first of all, and will help you to build that momentum over time. This is that thing where I always say it's quality over quantity. You can have 3,000 people that you're connected to on LinkedIn or however many, some other, lofty. I think I've got about 3,000, but I've built them up over the years, right? And I decline people, right? So I don't just accept any and everybody. There are a few who slipped through over the years and I've had to clean out. But if you just say, oh, I'm going to connect with all these people, so you've got 10,000 people you're connected to, but you don't have any relation. You couldn't name 5 that you actually have relationships with. Guess what? Those numbers mean absolutely nothing. And that's when you get discouraged and you're like, well, how come I'm connected to all these people? I went to this networking event. I met 50 people. Why am I not getting any traction? Quality over quantity. That will help you to build a sustainable pipeline of relationships. That's really what you want, y'all. You want a sustainable pipeline of relationships. And that means these are folks that you can tap into throughout your career, throughout your project, as you achieve those goals and things that you're looking to work towards. You can tap into them. It doesn't mean that you're going to be besties with all of these people for 20 years. You're not. You're probably going to be besties with 3 to 5 over 20 years. Then you're going to have another set that you're like, hey, let's grab some coffee. And you'll do that with them, once a quarter, twice a year. And then you have other folks you talk to all the time because it's the nature of the work you're doing at the time. So there are levels. We're not going to get into building out the levels of your relationships and your network today. There's other stuff, reach out to me and I can forward that to you. But the point is, you are being deliberate about the actions that you're taking and the fact that you're taking action over time. All right. So that you can get that momentum. And here's the danger, not just the danger, but the damage is when you are being inconsistent, people will write you off. It happens, even to the best of us. So this is what I do, what I've practiced over years. But when you fall off, people will be like, oh, well, they must not really be interested, or they're not really doing anything or whatever. And they move on. All right. Which gets us to the second point about the danger of inconsistent relationship building, which is missed conversations and contacts equal missed opportunities. Man, this one hurts bad. This one hurts bad because I have absolutely had those moments where I was really going. I had been working on my momentum, on building some traction on a few things. And then something happened, I don't know, a project that took too long. I got sick. Something happened with the family. It doesn't matter. Things happen, right? But you come along and you miss the conversation or you miss reconnecting with a contact. And then you end up with missed opportunities. It does happen. It happens less if you are consistent in your outreach. Okay. So guess what? You can be sick. You can have a family emergency to come up. What happens when that does happen is people will reach out to you to say, "Hey, did you submit for that? Hey, how are you doing? Did you check on this?" This is what happens when you take the time and the effort to actually be consistent in your relationship building, is you don't always have to be the one reaching out. People will reach out to you to make sure that you don't miss an opportunity. When they recognize that, "Hey, we were supposed to talk. Are you okay?" Or, "I know you had to reschedule coffee. Can we, you have a date in mind?" When you've built out a sustainable relationship pipeline and good relationships along the way, this is what happens. Now, someone will say, "Well, how is that possible?" Let's say it's someone I'm just getting to know or I'm just starting to build with. It's about the time and the effort you put into it to begin with. All right. So even when you're just starting to build out a relationship, when you're just getting connected with someone, you can still have made enough of connection that they recognize, "Hey, this didn't happen. Can we follow up?" That there's something there. Okay. It happens. It happens for me. I've had a few things because I got sick over the last few weeks. And so folks are like, "Hey, I just want to check back because I know that you said you were interested in X and in working on this project together. So I just want to check back in. Thank you so much for checking back in. Yes, I do. This happens. Let's go." All right. So you can do that. The reality is timing is everything. And we're not going to get everything every time. It's a reality. And guess it's okay. But the ones that hurt are when you know that the timing got off because you failed to do whatever you needed to do in order to maintain the relationship over time, because you fell down on the job, on continuing conversations, on following up with people. And so then when you see someone out there and you're like, "Well, how did they get that?" Well, because you didn't keep your conversations alive. You didn't maintain those relationships over time. So they went to someone else who was maintaining the relationship, who was reaching out, who was, having something. It doesn't even have to be something you knew about already. Okay. That happened to me just last week. It was so great where I didn't even know. And one of my mastermind business friends reached out and tagged me with someone else that they knew who was looking for a particular person for an upcoming podcast that they're working on. Had no idea, did not have any relationship. I'm like, "Yes, thank you so much." And that's one of the things that I'll be following up on this week to make sure that I don't miss that opportunity. Because that's 2 hits, right? I don't want to miss the fresh opportunity, and I don't want to disappoint the person who referred the opportunity to me. This is the danger when you're inconsistent with your relationship building, is it can start to build on itself with the negative consequences. And that's not what you want. All right? No one's perfect. We all have challenges, no doubt. Be human, show you're human, and follow up. Apologize. Say, "Hey, this came up. I missed your email," whatever the real deal is, and reconnect. All right. Okay. The third thing that can happen when you are inconsistent in your relationship building is, oh my gosh, one of the dangers is when you fail to follow up. Y'all know, those of you who know me know, this is like my pet peeve. Like, I've had a few situations this summer on things totally unrelated, like some other business opportunities or some other projects that I was working on for a family related thing, where the person didn't follow up. They didn't follow up on time, and or they didn't follow up with what I asked them for. Like, they sent me something, but it was not what I asked for. Drives me nuts. So I am overly sensitive to it when I'm feeling like, "Oh my God, did I follow up in the way that I needed to?" Again, I am not perfect, but I'm very aware of it. And you have to put your ego aside sometimes and just say, "I screwed up. And I want you to know I'm still on top of this. And I still want to connect and I still want to do this. All right. Because here's the thing, you do not want to send valuable resources, valuable investments of time and resources down the toilet simply because you failed to follow up. Because that's what's happening. It's like taking money, time, whatever, and flushing it. Like, how does that sit with you? Right? How does that sit with you when that happens? That's not what we want to be doing. It is much, much better to do less at deeper levels when it comes to your relationship building efforts than to do too much and not follow up. Truth. Just a plain, hard truth. You are much better off following up consistently with 5 people over the next 30 days than you are with running around to all these events, doing superficial contacts with 50 people and following up with no one. Get you nowhere. You may have some new cards, you may have some more people to add to an email, but if you're not following up, if you're not taking any action on it, you might as well have not done it. Okay? That's not what we want. So we want to build your consistency, right? We want to build your consistency so that you don't always feel like you're starting from scratch, so that you can actually get some traction and build some momentum on what it is that you're doing. There's nothing more frustrating than getting started and then feeling like you're taking 2 steps back. I've had that feeling most of the summer, right? Because there were other things going on, it had nothing to do with my business relationships or whatever. It was totally like a bunch of personal stuff going on, getting things situated, whatever. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have got to get back on the stick because this is making me crazy, because that's not how I operate. Okay. So you have to make sure that you are very aware and take that reflection time. There we go with that word reflection again. Take that reflection time to say, what is going on? Time out. Let's reset and get back on track. Okay. I'm not going to say catch up, but get back on track, so that we don't have those missed conversations that lead to missed opportunities. Man, there's nothing that gets my goat more than to realize, oh my God, why didn't I get that, call about that deal? Well, you can't always say sometimes, but the more you're engaging, the more you're staying on top of things, the more likely you are to get the feedback, to get the call back, to get the referral. Okay. All right. Stay on top of it. And lastly, make sure you follow up. Make sure you follow up. All right. Don't throw investments of time and money and resources down the toilet. Do the work. I tell people you can do it however you want, but 5 or 10 minutes a day, or if it's, a couple of hours a week or whatever. I don't think you should drag it out to just a monthly. That's not enough. Right? You need to build consistency because you need to build it over time. This is why I created that 30-day consistency networking challenge. That's the whole point of that challenge. If you're interested, go check it out. It's like a $97 deal where you get me in your ear through a learning portal for 30 days of here, do this. Next day, do that. Next day, do this. And the whole point is not just about telling you what to do. It's about building your consistency over time so that you can build up that habit, and then you can start just incorporating it into what you do every day. All right. There's times that I'm building relationships or I'm reaching out and connecting with people. I don't even think about it in that way because I may just do a quick, oh, I forgot to text so-and-so back. Let me reach out to them. Okay. It can be as simple as that. Or it can be as strategic and targeted as when I get to my Wednesdays when I'm like, I have my list. This is who I'm reaching out to today regarding these specific things. I'm doing these specific follow-ups. Let's go. All right. So it's about adjusting to what works for you. If you do not know what works for you, don't get frustrated. That's what I'm here for. Reach out, schedule a consult. I do 20-minute free consults, and let's have a conversation about what it is that you really want to accomplish, because that's really the root at it. Most of the time, people don't know what it is they're really reaching for. Therefore, they don't know the strategy to put into place to go for it. So it can be as simple as a few tweaks like that, but literally, if you're just like, I just need to be more consistent, I need to practice more, practice, practice, practice. It is a skill. People think that networking and building relationships is something you're just supposed to be able to do. That is not true. It is a skill that must be learned and practiced and honed over time. It has nothing to do whether you're introverted or extroverted. That's about your level of engagement and how you connect with people, whatever. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with whether you're engaging, how often you're doing it, and how well you're doing it. And the only way you get to that point is to practice. Okay? Those are the dangers, and then some of the damage that can be caused when you are inconsistent in your relationship building. I'd love to hear some more of your input or what your thoughts are about that, or where you've fallen down on the jobs and how you overcame it, right? I love hearing those stories because I like to share them out with people. Make sure to connect. There's lots of great things going on this month. I'm looking forward to sharing with you all. For those of you who are interested to get registered for the 5 Steps to Career Success in Any Economy workshop, that's coming up in October. Great opportunity for you to really dive deep on these things so that you can get yourself situated for your next level move by the end of the year and moving into 2023. Okay. That's it for you guys today. Take care. Let me hear from you, and I look forward to following up with you again soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.